The voice of the drum calls. It sings a song of those who came before us and those to come. A song of survival and strength. A song of participation and voice. A song that calls us together. When we come together and participate in the 2010 census, we use this tool as the voice of all our Native people. Our voice. It is in our hands. 2010 census.
Welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Wednesday, February 24th. I'm your host for today's program, Paul DeMain. Many of the stories read here can also be found at our website at IndianCountryNews.com. Here are the news stories for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. A man who built a multi-million-dollar empire with a motivational mantra that teaches people to create wealth contends he's broke and cannot post bond in a criminal case that threatens the survival of his self-help business. James Arthur Ray, who was charged earlier this month with 3 counts of manslaughter stemming from the deaths of 3 people following a ceremony he led last year in Arizona. His bond has been set at $5 million. Ray himself has touted his wealth and success in numerous media interviews and on his website, including an estimated $10 million in revenue in the year 2009 alone, and a 7-figure advance for his book called Harmonic Wealth that hit the New York Times bestseller list in May of 2008. He told Fortune magazine for an April 2008 article that his financial goal was $21 million a year. But court documents provided recently paint a much different picture, claiming that he is severely in debt with a net worth of negative $4.2 million. The Montana Human Rights Commission has rejected a discrimination complaint filed by American Indians who were subjected to a group strip search at a privately run prison in Shelby. Guards at the Crossroads Correctional Center in 2008 made the inmates strip before and after their traditional sweat lodge ceremonies. Prison officials say they suspected the ceremonies were being used to move contraband, although none was ever found. The prison denied the inmates were discriminated against, and the State Department of Corrections later agreed with an investigation concluding the guards had acted appropriately. The prison is run by the Nashville, Tennessee-based Corrections Corporation of America. The chairman of the Mole Lake Secaucus Chippewa of northern Wisconsin, Arlyn Ackley, is recovering from a 1-car rollover on February 21st that sent him to a regional hospital in critical condition. Ackley, who is now in serious condition, was alone in a 1-car rollover when police responded to the scene at 1:50 a.m. The 50-year-old tribal leader was out of bail on a 5th drunk driving charge from July of last year, felony narcotics possession, jumping bail, and operating a vehicle after his operating license was revoked. Ackley, who had been previously charged with stealing more than $38,000 from the tribe and dealing cocaine during the 1990s, regained his job by 1 vote in a tribal election held in the year 2007. The Arizona Supreme Court has upheld a historic agreement and settlement of a decades-old lawsuits involving water rights claims of the Gila River Indian Community. The state high court last Friday unanimously affirmed a trial judge's approval of a 2004 settlement between the tribe, the federal government, and state governments, as well as numerous irrigation districts and municipalities in Maricopa and Pinal counties. The settlement provided that the Gila River tribe, with 653,500 acre-feet of water annually from various sources, in exchange for resolving claims for additional water rights and compensation for damages. Returning the Gift, a celebration of Native writers, will be sponsored by Wordcraft Circle of Native Writers and Storytellers and Native Writers Circle of the Americas on Friday, March 26th and Saturday, March 27th. That celebration coming up begins in the USAO Ballroom at 1727 West Alabama Avenue in Chickasha, Oklahoma. Readings and workshops with Native writers include Annette Arkakita David Valverde, Robert Perry, Robert Conley, Lee Francis IV, Kimberly Rapolo, Judy Lee Olivia, and Sarah Cortez, and many, many more. Returning the Gift will also host the Native Writers Circle of the Americas First Book Awards and Lifetime Achievement Award, along with the WordCraft Circle of Native Writer Awards that occurred during that time. Okay, you can email for more information at cropolo@ou.edu. The St. Croix Chippewa Tribal Chairman says the recession has hit Wisconsin reservations especially hard. Lewis Taylor delivered the 6th annual State of the Tribes address to a joint session of the state legislature on February 23rd. He says reservations are on remote locations have made tribes more vulnerable to the economic downturn. He says tribes have been lobbying lawmakers in Washington, D.C. for more stimulus money, and he says that that money would only help the entire state. He didn't go into detail, but he also called on the lawmakers to consult more often with the tribes and a tribal representative, and to put a tribal representative on the University of Wisconsin System Board of Regents. State benefits for tribal police officers and better broadband access on reservations in the northern part of the state. You can find his speech at IndianCountryTV.com in the featured digital channel by going to the on-demand files. The Red Lake Band of Ojibwe Chairman Floyd Jourdain is giving his annual State of the Band address on Friday, February 26. His speech will include the band's accomplishments over the last year and preview some initiatives for the upcoming year. All tribal programs will also set up their booths there, highlighting the services they provide for the community at Red Lake. The event will also include some singing and a feast. There have been many new projects in Red Lake, Minnesota, in that northwestern reservation. Among them, the band recently opened a new casino, hotel, and conference center. The band also plans for a new tribal law enforcement center and a greenhouse. And that is the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. We want to thank you all for joining with us. Come back again soon.